All
All
right.
right, welcome back, Waqar. How's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. Like enjoying my Sunday. So for our viewers, today we'll be discussing our journey on in the crypto world and how we made not so much millions, but how's our investing going so far? What's our strategy? But yeah, I just wanted to get an overview of okay, when we entered into crypto, what was the hype all about? And yeah, so with that, I'll just start. So yeah, Fakar, tell me when was it that you first got into crypto?
Yes, it was round about at the same time when the market crashed, the 2018. So
Oh,
really
okay.
bad time to enter. So back in 2017, when the crypto was booming, I was kind of getting in and out, researching. A lot of my friends were getting into it. But I was skeptical. Okay, maybe I should enter or not. So I waited for about half a year. I remember I made my first Kraken account, which is a crypto exchange, in back in June 2017. So
Oh
at that
wow.
point, it was like you have to go through a verification process. It takes a lot of time, like 2 3 months that you have to wait for. So I had an active Kraken account. I also had a account on a different exchange called Bitstamp was popular at that point. But I never got into actually buying any cryptocurrencies. But like at the peak of this whole hype and everything, I got into it. I remember like it was January 2018.
Oh
My
man.
first investment was 1,000 euros. So I transferred all that to the Kraken exchange, and then I was plan was to split it into different currencies. So I bought Bitcoin, Ethereum. Some of them was got into Ripple, and the next month it was like all crashing down. It didn't crash, but it was starting to go in negative. And it was my first time, so it was bad. Every minute I was checking, okay, how, did my investment went up? I was going down like every time I was checking. So it was crushing my mental peace. So it was really bad. At the end, the good thing was, and another thing that happened was I didn't had a lot of knowledge. I knew about what cryptocurrencies are, but I didn't had any background on of investing, like how
Right.
you read the charts, what strategies you need to follow, and I was just jumping in and out. So if in one currency was going up, I was just moving all my investment to that currency, and then it would go down. Then I would move it to another currency. So it was just I was all over the place. So it was like really bad. All things that can go wrong went wrong. But I made a good decision that in the end I left all my investments. So my initial investment was like 1,000 euros, and in the end it was like after 2 3 months and the end of April, it was 200 euros, and I
Oh
left
wow.
all that into Cardano, and I just like closed my all my accounts in the sense that I uninstalled all the applications from my mobile. I was not checking the exchange on my laptop anymore, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna check anything. We'll just like let it have peace with it. But good thing was that after 2 3 years, like recent like boom that happened, my 200 euros investment on crypto, the Cardano, went up to 4,000. So that was a good decision on my part that I didn't took out all the money and moved
Mm-hmm.
it to fiat currency. I just left it in Cardano. I was like, okay, like I accepted my loss, but I left it in Cardano. So that was a good
Mm-hmm.
decision I made.
So you
Uh,
eventually went into profit with your $1,000 investment.
yes,
Is that
like
okay?
like a really good amount of profit. So if you think about
Oh,
it, if I it was just like that, I invested 200 euros into Cardano and it went to like 4,000. So it was like a huge
exactly.
profit. I lost
Exactly.
initially, but then in the end, I made like good returns. So
Yeah. I was just reading an interesting tweet, and maybe we can post it as well when we actually do the video. But it was about, so a guy wrote that he made his first million, but in the background he said, but first I actually lost 200K. And
Right.
then when he said, when I made my first like 5 million, I lost like half a million as well, right? Like, so I
Yeah.
think like it's those things that people don't talk about usually, right?
Exactly.
Especially when you are talking or looking into YouTube or any influencer, they're just gonna tell you the rosy picture, or they're just gonna give you that picture of, okay, I made 1000x, right? But they don't tell you that journey like that took. And I think this is what we're talking about right now. So this is a really
Exactly.
good journey. I mean, I'll tell you about mine, and yeah, unfortunately, mine is not as green as yours, so I'm still in the middle of it. But yeah, so pretty similar to your story. Heard, I never heard about like crypto to begin with, like till 2017, and then I started following it. But then when I decided to move, I Bitcoin was already around like 15, 16, $17,000 already. And so I was looking at crypto or coin market cap, and I
Hmm.
saw, okay, maybe Ethereum and XRP would be the things that I can actually invest in. And I think I made a mistake, and I think I like this is my learning as well. Like, don't go into believing that one coin is like poised to be the best coin of all. You should like always diversify. But what I made a mistake was I went directly into XRP when it was actually
Hmm.
like $2 or something. So it went up to $3.2, and then it
Hmm.
started coming back down. So the first
Hmm.
investment that I made was when it was $2, and it was interesting. Like, I think I invested again like you, like $1,000 or something like that.
Hmm.
But my mistake was that then it went back to 1.5, and I was like, okay, I cannot take a no for an answer, so I invested more. So I invested
Hmm.
another thousand, and I like tried to average down my actual cost. Then it went to $1, and I added more. So at some point, I was like, okay, I've added $5,000 or something like that, and the
Hmm.
price is keeping on going down. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait now. I had at that moment 11,000 XRP or 12,000 XRP, like I had accumulated that much. And but that feeling that like you're looking at every day, and like all your profit and loss is actually in red, and
Hmm.
like, okay, you've like kind of spent a lot of money on it. It's really not a good one, right? Like, and
Yeah.
then I spent like sleepless nights looking at the charts. Obviously, they're not going to move in the direction which I wanted to. But then there were
Hmm.
influencers who were
Hmm.
like, okay, now this is the bottom. We've cut the bottom. Let's go. Like, it will be going to $2 again. And I think my biggest learning was that I had to stop looking at Twitter or stock Twitter or whatever it's called. And then I
Hmm.
started looking into like going into the technicals myself, right? Like looking at, okay, what is Fibonacci retracements? What are the trend lines? Things like there's so many different things that I learned during that period. Like, and that made me into a trader. I would say a trader, not like an investor, because I stopped believing in hodling anymore. It's like my strategy now is you go and get into some currency, like you make a target for you when you want to exit, and then you really exit, right? Like that's the most
Yeah.
important thing. Like, even if it's like 10% profit, I'm happy with it, because now my prices or my investment is 10% higher than what I actually made.
Hmm.
So my learning was that. But yeah, I started with XRP, but my the biggest mistake that I did is like after 1.5 years of that crypto winter that came into, I actually deleted or sold out my XRP, and I switched to a different coin. And I think I still regret it to this day, that like, because before you sell it, it's like your money is still with you, right? Like, it can still go up because you still have those coins. But once I sold it, I was like, okay. Then I started into a frenzy of like switching from one thing to another. If some other coin was increasing, I would just quickly buy that one. And it was always like I was playing the catch up game. And I think, to me, the biggest learning is that you don't swap. you don't switch. You keep your strategy to what it is. Either you believe in it and or you have a good exit strategy. For instance, if you're down 10%, maybe that's a good point that you get out of it, but then you don't make another investment right up above that. So like a lot of things that I learned about it was don't invest emotionally, invest with your head. And but yeah, the short story is I still have not been able to make a profit. Like I think that's still there, but because I eventually invested like close to $20,000, right? Like with my strategy, and I've kind of, but now like since last year, I've actually made 10K back. So the trajectory is good, I would say. Like I'm making profit, like with my exit strategies, with my with keeping a really hard count on it. But yeah, the money that I lost, like I'm my hope is that at least by some point I can just recover that one back, and then I'm actually happy. So yeah.
Right, it's a really interesting story. So, I mean, I think we share our like similar stories, similar learnings that we had during our course of actions. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think the good thing is like now we are going towards a good trajectory and we have
Yeah.
our learnings. So
So
that's
if
good.
it was like yeah, I'll ask you again, right? Like, so what do you think about so obviously now you've also learned a little bit of technical trading as well, right? Like you're also into RSI values and the different things. So how how much do you still follow the influencers and the technical traders on YouTube and those guys who are like having millions of subscribers and telling you, I would say, kind of bullshit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow it anymore. I know. So there's a point where you learn the truth. So, and I think we did that with our mistakes.
Yeah.
But now I studied all these fundamentals, like do technical chart analysis and stuff like that. But I don't follow it anymore. It's like takes a lot of time. It's a full time job, I think.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'd like to say is like I actually took a course to learn
Nice.
fundamentals as well. Like it was a course on Udemy, and I was
Uh-huh.
like so desperate to learn it because it is interesting, right? Like to learn something
Yes.
new and to see that okay, if trend line is actually being met, then the value will go up or down. So those were things like it's something always interesting to learn something new. But at
Yeah.
the same
Exactly.
time, like then I started like having my own charts in TradingView, and then like doing my own analysis on it as well. And I think I showed you a couple of them as well,
Yeah.
right? Like during my time. So yeah, that was an interesting. So I mean, I think to anyone who was looking into this video, the only thing that I would say is like don't believe in everything and anything that you hear. Like I'm sure you know about it already, and don't believe in hypes. Like if someone says like, hey, this is the next it coin, chances are it could be. Maybe there's like 1% chance that that's true. But do you really want to bet on that probability, like on 1%? I would definitely say it doesn't really make sense for me. So
Yeah, my advice would be the same. Like, keep it simple. Like, I personally don't go into this like the technical chart analysis. I just dollar cost average every month. To keep it simple, like just auto. Like, I do plan my exits sometimes, but my long term strategy is to just like keep on buying. So yeah, just keep it simple.
mm,
Don't
so
listen to all the information that you hear online and somebody made millions like buying into some X currency. So yeah, keep
yeah,
it
so
simple.
so your strategy is a little bit different than mine, right? Like I think
Yeah,
we're getting into the strategy part, but what you just said is that you are